Hey everyone, Jatt here. This week on Teamfight Breakdown, I want to talk about teamfighting before 15 minutes. In Game 5 of the 2016 LCK Summer Split Semifinals, KT Rolster found a teamfight against SK Telecom T1 and took control of the game. Before we get into it, let's see why SKT was invading KT's jungle in the first place. SKT has lanes pushing in mid and bot. This gives Blank's Hecarim an opportunity to invade KT's jungle and try and stop Fly's Lissandra from getting blue buff. The idea being, if KT respond to Blank's invade, they'll lose minions to turrets and fall behind. Blank wards and begins taking the blue buff, and KT show willingness to leave lanes in order to protect it. SKT now have two options. Simply go back to pushing lanes and gain a minor advantage via minions, or Blank could go for the big play. Lucky for us, SKT want to fight, and ends up forcing one in KT's jungle. Let's get into it. Right at the start of the fight, several key things happen. Blank lands a great Hecarim ultimate onto Score's Elise and Fly's Lissandra, sending them terrified back towards Faker's Karma. Faker throws his highest damage ability, a Mantra'd Q, at Fly and Score, but it flies right between them and misses entirely. Also keep in mind that both top laners want to join the fight immediately. Sumday's Gnar has a ward that's in a good position to teleport to, but Duke's Echo has to wait for Wolf's Trundle, who approaches from the bot side, to place a pink ward so that he can teleport in as well. The absence of that ward earlier now has big consequences, as it makes Duke late to the fight. Everyone on both teams become engaged in the fight almost instantly, and it becomes an all-out brawl. The moment Hachani's Taric arrives, he begins channeling his ultimate, Cosmic Radiance, onto Fly. This allows Fly to be extremely patient with his self-ult on Lissandra, as he now has two invulnerabilities to work with. Cosmic Radiance going off onto Fly, combined with the curtain call from Arrow's Jhin, forces SKT to make some unfavorable decisions. Faker and Blank splinter away from their team, as they don't want to stay near Fly while he's invulnerable. Meanwhile, the curtain call from Arrow zones Bang away from Wolf. So now, SKT are incredibly scattered, and Sumday's teleport is about to complete. As soon as it does, Score lands a cocoon on Blank. Sumday then quickly jumps on him and assists with the first kill of the fight. As Blank falls, Duke makes it to the fight, looking to salvage things for SKT. But Fly still has his Lissandra ultimate, so when Duke goes in for the kill, Fly casts Glacial Tomb on himself to stay alive. And, with the game only being 14 minutes in, Duke has yet to pick up sufficient tank items on Echo, so Fly's ultimate takes a large percentage of his health, and he quickly dies to the rest of KT. Now it's a 5 versus 3, and SKT need to fully retreat. As Faker attempts to run away, we get to see how impactful Sumday's first completed item, a Frozen Mallet, can be. Despite Faker trying to flash away, Sumday manages to proc Hyper for a speed boost, slow Faker with his Frozen Mallet, and eventually chase him down for KT's third and final kill of the fight. Looking back, Blank going for that big play backfired in a substantial way for SKT. Why? Because KT quickly reacted to Blank's engage and had the item advantage in both the top lane and jungle. You see, completing your first item is very important. For example, the difference in power between a Trinity Force and the base components of a Trinity Force is huge. In this fight, both Sumday's Gnar and Score's Elise had completed their first major items, whereas Duke's Echo and Blank's Hecarim were still sitting on components. It's also important to remember that certain champions play differently early. For this fight, SKT had a much weaker frontline, since Duke's Echo and Blank's Hecarim had no real tank items at only 14 minutes in. But even in this early game fight, KT had some great mechanical plays. Score's Elise did work by landing Smite on the blue buff early, then landing multiple cocoons throughout the chaos. Fly's Lissandra had perfect patience and timing, waiting to use his ultimate until it could dodge out of Duke's parallel convergence, while also hitting Duke for big damage. Sumday's Gnar also landed every skill shot when chasing down Faker to secure the final kill. Spectacular play from KT all around. With the teamfight win, KT took control of the game and completed their reverse sweep of SKT and advanced to the LCK Summer Finals.